While the Streampocalypse is upon us, the Writers Guild of America is on strike. You've probably seen headlines. Saturday Night Live to do reruns until the strike subsides, affecting the 5 people who still watch. But largely what this is about, residuals. Now, for those of you not in entertainment, residuals, common way of which a performer, a talent, maybe a writer, creator of a show receives extra income on the back end. In syndication, this was a great way to make some money for a show that you did years ago. But it seems as though the Writers Guild of America is failing to adapt to the changing landscape. There are no new shows receiving chunky syndication deals. Let's just break this down into an example here. You're familiar with Seinfeld. Okay, so Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld don't keep getting money from NBC when it is done running over the air on NBC's network. But everybody else is scrambling to put Seinfeld reruns on after their local news or such. This can make for a pretty hefty payday for a show's creator, performers, and writers. But what happens with a streaming series, say one that is a Netflix original? Well, they still receive some residuals, but the check isn't as strong. So let's say you get 80% of what you maybe would have made if it was a traditional television program. And that's not to say that you would have made a lot of money with that TV program, because let's face it, a lot of TV shows are canceled quickly. There just isn't the same viewership. And part of the reason why is because of the variety afforded by streaming platforms. Regardless, the writers want their cut, but what happens when you have a number of original programs and you're always churning out more and they always have a home on your platform? The Netflix band-aid for this is to raise the rate for subscribers. When you have to pay more money for Netflix, that is to please the writers of past content. Their next solution was to introduce ads and have those who are accustomed to not having ads on the platform pay extra. But still, this didn't work. You see, there's just no possible way for these streaming platforms to function as they have reached a break-even point. There is no longer a scenario where everyone's going to be happy. Regarding this current strike, I think there are 3 possible outcomes. The death of guilds is a possibility. Suppose Netflix just says, okay, we're no longer going to hire writers who are guild members. Screw it. We'll just relocate to a right-to-work state. All we really have to do is just rent out an office building and say that's our new headquarters. In Kansas, we no longer have to deal with unions. And those creators will make markedly less money. But hey, if this is your occupation, you really don't have any alternatives. You're not really going to be able to go to NBC and be like, hey, I've got an idea for the next Seinfeld. Platforms could follow HBO Max's lead. Yes, I know it's now called Max. That is massive library deletion. The outright removal of original content means that you don't have to pay these residuals. In the case of Netflix, this could mean selling off properties. But for shows that don't have Stranger Things level of appeal, I think they're going to simply disappear into the ether. Unavailable in physical media, only pirated bootlegs uploaded here and there on the internet. And lastly, a la carte viewing may become the norm. You know how you get up on like Amazon Prime Video and you gotta like rent a movie? You don't really rent a movie online from Netflix, but what if you had to? What if in order to watch the next episode of Stranger Things, you had to pay $1? Now, you're probably thinking, oh, well, that's not such a bad deal. Well, yeah, until they figure out they have to raise the price. You could be entering a scenario where it's like ESPN Plus, but you want to watch UFC, so you have to buy the pay-per-view while also having ESPN Plus. So essentially, you have to get the license from Netflix in order to browse their library, then decide what it is you're going to watch and be billed for it. However, this is a scenario where those writers get their precious residuals. So there you have it, my thoughts on this strike nonsense. I think that these guilds have overstepped and they are encroaching on a dying industry. Because, well, real talk here, writing is soon going to be a dead occupation. That little avenue you had to elevate your class is being taken away from you by AI. Yeah, who would have thought that AI's plan to enslave humanity would start with taking our jobs? No, usually they go for the nukes in the movies, but looks like reality's a little more devious, a little more subtle, a little easier to get away with. But I want to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications.
Thank you for watching my son's YouTube station. It's not for everyone, but he tries. Maybe if you bought some merch below, he'll eventually get good at the YouTubing.